Hey guys, welcome back to ADP Art Creations. How you guys doing today? Please hit the like button as you come in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my channel. All right, guys, let's get into it. So today, Where Are They Now? Series episode 5 is on Roneeka Hodges. Also, I got a little special treat I had to add up in there that I didn't know, but okay, we're gonna add it up in there. So it's kind of like a double thing, a little sprinkle up in there, whatever. So let's get into it. I pulled up this article because I was looking for my YouTube clips for Roneeka, and they just didn't have enough for me, like enough highlights. They didn't have like any like of her speeches up there like that. So I'm gonna read from this article, which is an interview. So we're gonna kind of tweak in between each part and just let you know who Roneeka Hodges is and what she is doing now. You can find this article on herhoopstats.substack.com. Roneeka Hodges interview. Alfred Correct did this article April 9th, 2024. Um, and it's a good article. It's called Roneeka Hodges. A good interview. Roneeka Hodges, the key to longevity. So let's first of all, we have to introduce her and who she is, right? So Roneeka she also played for the WNBA. She also played overseas. So she was from the second round draft pick. She's an 11-year WNBA veterinary, not veterinary. Think about harvest, WNBA vet, and she's very respected. And her story, the reason why I think this author said longevity is because of what Roneeka Hodges is doing and has been doing as far as coming from being a WNBA player to coaching, and coaching great teams at that. Like, these ain't no little play teams she's coaching or whatever. And so he goes on to say that Hodges has had the opportunity to play and learn from some of the brightest minds in the history of the game, in which we all treasure. We treasure our vets, we treasure whatever they bring to the table, how they pave a way. So it goes into the next section. Well, I won't say next section, I'll just read it, right? It talks about planting the seed, and this couldn't be a more better like a topic for this section when it comes to talking about Hodges. So he goes on to say, before Hodges logged a single WNBA minute, she already had an inkling on the inner workings of the league. Hodges' twin sister, Danica. So yes, Roneeka has a twin named Danica and was drafted a year before her. So let's take it back. So I'm gonna dip into talking a little bit about Danica, not too much, but I wanted you guys to know. Yeah, we got a double. You see that double effect? So they were twins. So let me briefly um talk about I want to talk about how both of these young ladies or whatever, yes, mind you, yes, they are in their 40s there or whatever, but that don't stop anything, right? And the fact that these young ladies are from New Orleans, Louisiana, hey, get that special shout out, right? And guess where they went to school at? They went to school at LSU. Now Danica did 4 years at Danica. She did 4 years at LSU, and Roneeka, she Roneeka did okay. So Roneeka did 2000 to 2003 at LSU. So she did 3 years at LSU. She Florida State. She went to Florida State and she did from 2004 to 2005. So at Florida State, she only stayed a year, but she was 3 years in at LSU. Danica, let's talk about Danica Hodges. Danica Hodges, who also played for the WNBA. She played 4 seasons. She scored 362 points and has collected 113 rebounds, 165 assists, 43 steals, and 13 blocks. She scored a career high of 17 points during the during the 2005 season against the San Antonio Silver Stars. She is currently playing overseas. So Danica plays overseas. She took her game overseas, and that's what she is now. She is overseas. Roneeka is still in the United States, continue to do what she do. And I just want you guys, this article, please go back and read it like word for word, because this author, this person that interviewed Roneeka, they did a great, excellent job. From the top to the bottom of this interview, it was just good. Didn't leave no crumbs in this article. Hey, big girl, how you doing today, girl? Glad to see you back. But yeah, I was like, man, isn't this crazy? Twins has been going on up in the subject from last night, and my twin's birthday is Saturday, so this twin thing, it was just so crazy to just find out Roneeka had a twin, or whatever. That is really something, but it's amazing that both of them were able to play in the W. So I just wanted you guys to know that about Roneeka's sister. Okay, so yeah, her sister was drafted a year before her. Danica joined the Sparks team with names, like Lisa Leslie, Mawandi, Mabika. I hope I'm saying that right, and Delisha Milton Jones. And y'all remember about Delisha? I did that. I did a show on her. So you see how these vets, Lisa Leslie, that's my girl. You see how all of them are coming back in the past of me going through the players' history, and where they are now is good knowledge, guys. It's always great to research and research our vets, because this information doesn't need to just stop. We need to keep it going. So understanding, Roneeka had a family in the league, you know what I'm saying? She was able to, learn from that. And the thing is, they were twins too. So it's amazing how both of them chose to have a WNBA career. Both of them chose to do ball, right? That's amazing to me too. So it says Hodges, she started her collegiate career for Louisiana State University before transferring and finishing at Florida State, as I had mentioned before. At LSU, Hodges gained more insight from a former Tiger, Elaine Powell. Oh yeah, she coming too, guys. She coming too. I just love it when I'm seeing, the vets' names pop in there. And I have to say this: people can say what they want to say about LSU, but guys, LSU has forever had so many dogs come out of there. Sorry, guys. So you can't. It's got to be something else, because this LSU is what it is. It ain't no joke. They're gonna have them dogs coming up out of there. That's just how it is. So like Hodges, Powell had a decade-long playing career in the W before transitioning into coaching, eventually becoming the assistant coach in the league with Minnesota. This is what Hodges had to say. She said she would always come back. She played pickup, and things like that together. Hodges said so. She was familiar with the game. She said, "I was familiar with the game. I have watched the game since I was a kid. I watched the WNBA games, so I felt like I knew without actually knowing. I think that all of those early experiences were very valuable for me." And it's good to see that players growing up realize, um, by watching the game, by taking the time out to break down the game, that's added to your basketball skills. That's added to your basketball knowledge. And so it's not like, oh, here go a ball and you just go play. You know what I'm saying? Not for Roneeka. Roneeka learned. And that's what I love about her story. She's teachable. And when you have a teachable spirit, you can learn just about anything. Right? So the author goes on to say, this section is called Welcome to the Show, whatever. And so in the spring of 2005, Hodges embarked on a journey that many young women in her position can only dream of. She was playing in the WNBA. However, she didn't begin her professional career for any franchise. So let that be noted, because what the author trying to say is she could have went somewhere else to she could have went to another team, but the fact that she went to some dynasty teams, that speaks volumes too. So it goes on to say that Hodges kicked off her WNBA career with the league's first dynasty with the Houston Comets. Yeah, sound familiar, right? Mm-hmm. So it said, although the last of her 4 championships came in 2000, it doesn't matter when her championships, guys, came. She got 4 of them. I mean, let's be for real. The Comets by this time still were in the playoff mix. Also, the addition of the future 2-time All-Star Sancho Little via the draft offered some promise. 2003 WNBA Most Improved Player was Michelle Snow, who poised to have a breakout season. The team acquired legendary guard Dawn Staley mid-season. Plus, Houston still had 2 key members of its dynastic core, which was Cheryl Swoops and Tina Thompson. Look, man, do you hear all these greats in here? This is what, oh man, the path of WNBA history is not just beginning. It's been there. We just needed America to wake up to women's sports. And now we carry the torch. We fully carry the torch. Women's sports has did a takeover. Some like it and some don't. But let's keep it real. This is a massive takeover. And they have fought all these years to get here. They deserve every penny. Pay the players. Also, being in this atmosphere was the key for Hodges. Early WNBA development, very important. That experience in itself was an invaluable experience, Hodges said, on her beginnings with Houston. I think about this all the time. I would say that it probably modeled me into the player I became. And it was probably one of the reasons why I feel like I feel I had longevity in the league, right? Oh, she did. It ain't a feel. You did, Roneeka. You did that, and because you were teachable, this is why you still in the game. Go from being a player to coaching, and a great coach at that, right? So Hodges played in 26 games during her rookie season, primarily coming off of the bench. Nevertheless, she credits her start and her career development as a professional player, right? So she wanted to say these are the names that she named in there as being a part of this that added on to her game. She names Dawn Staley, Tina Thompson, Michelle Snow, who were all legends and champions. Or whatever, but it just didn't happen overnight. So she was sitting there and she was, she was taking in, that experience as she playing her game or whatever. And that is so great to be able to come into the W and to be able to be behind some greats. That is awesome. So, let's carry on, right? So she was like, Hodges said she was like a sponge. She said, I soaked up all this information. I learned how to play and I waited for my turn. I think that's something that could be lost nowadays. It's actually learning what to do and what not to do. So Hodges' longevity came from not only being a sponge in Houston, but also from understanding the role in Houston. Check this out, guys. During her 4 years season with the Comets, she played 18 out of 103 games. She only played 18 out of 103 games, guys. But the knowledge that she gained and appreciated prepared her for an even larger role in a greater career. Sometimes, guys, in life, it's okay not to be leading at that particular time. That doesn't mean you're not a leader. That doesn't mean that you can't do all these great things. It's just that it's a time and it's a season for everything. You have to be patient and you have to have a teachable spirit. Also, you have to be grateful with whatever experience you get. And this was Roneeka. She didn't take anything for granted. So it says in the next part, it says that every player will not be privy to the same amount of playing time or the same role on the team, Hodges said. At that point in time, the situation wasn't necessarily about me. See, you got to understand some situations is not about you, and you got to be willing to fall back a little bit. And this is what we're starting to see. We saw it in the last game with Flage and LSU. She's starting to understand she's starting to understand more of the game as she progresses, before she goes into the W. Um, but yeah, so she said coming from Florida State, playing behind legends and Olympians, WNBA champions. So for me, the best thing to do was to learn from them, to wait my turn, to just go into practice every day and compete and competing against them. Those were my games, and I accepted the role. See, that's the thing. You got to be willing to accept the starting point. You gotta be willing to accept where you are. Does that mean you're gonna stay where you are? No, by no means necessary. But you never know what you're learning in the midst of your waiting. But sometimes some people want it rushed. With Roneeka, she had time. She had time, right? So yeah. So let's get into let me see. So after Houston, Hodges had a brief stint with the Minnesota Lynx. She was starting in 27 of 33 games. She then embarked on a 2-year journey with the San Antonio Silver Stars, all the while gaining experience as a role player and a starter. So, guys, as you can see, like um Roneeka is one that should not be forgotten. This is I wish that like I'm really shocked at how YouTube did. I really want to just write them a letter because put some respect on her name. Though I understand they take away certain videos, bring them back and all that kind of stuff. And they got certain highlights and stuff, but I didn't see, and I got to check again. I didn't see her get a Naismith Award. I want to make sure and check that after we finish, but I didn't see anything, and I was like, Roneeka should have got one. I know they're not easy to get, and how they get your hopes up. I've heard players talk about how they get your hopes up, so you don't know, you don't never know when it's real. But I'll look into that before we end the show. So Silver Star. The next section is about the Silver Star and a veteran mentor. Um, I'm gonna read a little bit here and there because I want you guys to check out this article because it's such a great article. So I'm not gonna do with the like the more of the author's hearsay stuff like that. I'm gonna do more of like what they're mentioning far as her some parts of her history because you guys need to check it out because he did an excellent job. So he goes on to say this isn't the first time that Hodges, Brondello, and Hammond will be back on the basketball floor together. So he talks about how Hodges was on the sidelines, and she was on the sidelines, which she featured a battle between two great basketball minds in New York head coach Sandy Brondello and Las Vegas Becky Hammond. But the author went on to say this isn't the first time that Hodges, Brondello, and Hammond will be on the basketball floor together. In fact, all three would forever be connected from their time with the San Antonio Silver Stars. So the fact that these three were connected before and they get to join again and different things for his coaching and all that great stuff, it says a lot because players grow apart. So to still be able to maintain, you know what I'm saying, friendships and all that kind of stuff, that's great because you don't never know when you're gonna need help and you're gonna need advice. And so with Roneeka coming in as an assistant coach, um, it, you know what I'm saying, it helped her. Mind you, let me get this straight. Also, Roneeka, she was assistant coach for um let me see, let me get that for you. Okay, so 2020 to 2021 she was an assistant coach for Old Dominion University. 2021 she to 2022 she was at Colgate University as an assistant. 2022 to 2024 she was New York Liberty assistant. And 2025, which is present now, she is part of the Connecticut Sun team, and she's an assistant. Guys, we got two LSU dogs on Connecticut Suns. We got Roneeka as coach, and we got our girl Anissa Morrow. Dog follow dogs. Y'all see the pattern that LSU do? Man, get out of here with hate, with that hate. And and yes, now she is currently you know, a coach with the Phantom BC. So for her, this is not her first rodeo show, as she's you know, being a part of Unrivaled. Anika been, I mean, not Anika, but Roneeka been that girl. Well, I don't know where in the world I got Roneeka from. I mean Anika. But okay. So yeah, so it goes on to say after her 2-year run with the Silver Stars, Hodges played for 3 teams in the final years of her career. It was Indiana, Tulsa, and Atlanta. Those were the 3 teams. One player in particular in whom Hodges mentioned was Skylar Diggins Smith. After a rookie campaign that saw, hey Skylar, after a rookie team campaign that saw Diggins Smith average only 8.5 points per game on a 32.8% shooting, she had a breakout sophomore campaign averaging 20.1 points and 5 assists. Hodges played a part in that progression. You see that? You don't hear about this. You know, you have to research. If you want the full highlights, if you want the full stories of our vets, our coaches, our new generation of players, do your research. Go and tap into their life, and you know, far as what they want to share, and what they share, I promise you, will be very important of how you watch their game, how you critique their coaching skills. It all plays a part. So it goes on to say that by the time she said, by the time I got out of Tulsa, I was looked upon as one of the vets, and there was Skylar Diggins Smith first time. Hodges said, I prided myself on being a good teammate and being a giver and helping in ways that weren't just mentioned in the stat sheet. Let's run that back. She said, I prided myself on being a good teammate and being a giver and helping in ways that weren't just mentioned in the stat sheet. Guys, we say this a lot of times when we're watching the sport. A lot of things that the players do is not on the stat sheets. A lot of things that the players do off the court is not on those stat sheets. But that doesn't mean that these players are not phenomenal players. That doesn't mean that these players can't get to their goals and their agendas. So she said, I think that being there and being able to give the advice, um, be a listening ear. Oh, don't I know about that? Okay, Roneeka, we might have some stuff in hot comment, girl. But anyways, whatever it was that I could provide to Skylar to help her get over the hump, that is something that I wanted to do. And she did that. Skylar is still a fireball. You can't teach the dog Skylar got in her, and still doing her thing, right? Um the next section is about her coaching moves. I told you what teams that she assisted for in coaching and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna she has a lot of um she got. I want to read these two sections that she spoke on, and then we're gonna tap into the rest of it, which is not too much or whatever. But I want you guys to hear it coming from her voice, to hear it coming from this article that you guys need to check out on her hoop stats, because it's really good. It's really educational. So she said, in my last 3 years overseas, my teammates became younger players. Hodges said, I was probably 10, 12, 13 years older than some of them. So I found myself being more of a mentor to them. I had always been that player that's go, 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 wanted to win. But when I found myself in a mentorship role, of course I still wanted to win, but the wins weren't as important. I'm gonna run that back again. I still wanted to win, Hodges said, but the wins weren't as important. Putting others before yourself. Sometimes in life, we gotta do it. It's an assignment. Sometimes what we do in life is not just about you. Okay? But she was like, it was more important to me that I learned the game, that they knew how to play, that they did things the right way, and that they were being professionals. So once I realized that, I was going on in spirit. I knew that I had to give coaching a chance. Did you, girl? I mean, did y'all see the points I read? Did y'all hear that on Scholar year before? And then what Roneeka assistants, she went up what? 12 more points. She went from 8 points to 20. That's a big difference for every game. You know what I'm saying? And also she goes on to say, I think it depends on the player. I think it depends on the state you're in when you make the transition. Hodges said, of any potential mental hurdles in transitioning from playing to coaching. She said, for me, the transition from playing into coaching wasn't that hard. I could say it wasn't that hard because I was wholeheartedly overplaying. I felt like I had given everything I had to the game as a player. So once I decided to retire, my body was over it. She said her body was over it. So, she went on with joining, like I said, she joined the New York Liberty. Hodges served as assistant coach for, Old Dominion, Colgate, and she's doing the Connecticut Suns now, and she's at the Connecticut Suns now, and she's doing Unrivaled. So, yeah, guys. So as you can see, she has look. She was destined for this. Like her path, even through everything that she went through, she still is winning today. Um, so yeah, there go her and Sandy oh god, Sandy Mondello. Look, let me get that right. But yeah, there go her and Sandy right there. Um and I think that's pretty much it that I want to take from the article. I guess I could drop a little bit of this part of living for the city, and then we're gonna end the article, and I will try to find something like a clip. Hey, She Wiz. Um Oh, She Wiz, girl, I gotta put that in my post to make sure y'all turn them alerts on, because YouTube be turning those alerts off. So my days are going to be Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 12 p.m. But because I had some things to do on Monday, I came on yesterday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and tomorrow, I will be coming on at 12 p.m. I will repost it again, because I drop post pretty much. I try to drop a post every day now. So I'll drop it in the post to make sure everybody put their alerts on, and that that I'm coming on. Or whatever. Where was that? Okay. So I'm not gonna go too much on living in the city, but I'm just gonna give you a drop of it, because we could sit and we could read through this all day, but we got things to do, and Roneeka got things to do. So, um, let me just touch on this a little bit. And I seen a 3 minute clip on YouTube that I could play. But far as what I'm looking for is the same way this interview is done. I would have loved to have seen it on YouTube, but I know how they take in and out. And this was like 2024 interview or whatever. But sometimes I guess they don't. They just pick and choose what they want to put up there. So it goes on to say that Hodges, she was correct about the Liberty. In Hodges' first year as assistant coach, the Liberty hosted a playoff game in the opening round against Chicago Sky, bringing in just under 8,000 fans to the Barclays Center. This is coming from across the time. They said per across the timeline. The Liberty revamped in the offseason, acquiring former MVP Breonna Stewart and Jockwell Jones, veteran facilitator Courtney Vandersloot, and all-around impact forward Kayla Thornton. For Liberty fans, 2023 was a season to remember. There was Breonna Stewart's electric 45-point home debut, winning the Commissioner's Cup in Las Vegas. Sabrina Ionescu's lights out performance in All-Star Weekend 3-point contest. Stewart becoming the first Liberty player to win the Most Valuable Player award, and New York reaching its first WNBA final since 2002. So she also was able to be a part of that. And I'm gonna read this last thing, and because the author keeps going, guys. So she says, "It warms my heart," Hodges said, and I say that because I know the Liberty are one of the cornerstone franchises of the WNBA. I know how the city of New York loves the Liberty, and not just today or tomorrow. They've always loved New York. The team went through some changes, but I think that over the last 2 years or so, the fan base is falling back into place. And I think the product that we've been putting on the court has given them something to smile about. That's something that we are proud of, and we want to continue to make the city proud. So, let me X out of this. Get that. Um, I'm gonna see if I can pull up that 3 minute video for you guys, or whatever. But it's just great that she doesn't have to stay on one spot. She's allowed to continue her journey. Um, she's allowed to continue her journey and from being a player to her coaching career. And I think I have two. I played one from the Phantom and stuff like that, too. But yeah, she was blessed to be able to be a WNBA player and still continue to coach for all those great teams. It wasn't like she wasn't just coaching any team. She wasn't just playing for any team. She went to some good teams, and she did great. Um, Let me see. There was only like I just couldn't believe it when I put in her highlights and stuff like that. They was not like really having a lot of highlights with Roneeka, or whatever. So let's take this one where they won the game. It's like a 1 minute video. This is Roneeka. She scored her season high 24 points for helping the San Antonio Silver Stars in a 3 game losing streak against the Sparks. Hopefully, okay, I'm gonna play it. It's from the WNBA. They're kind of strict, but I'm gonna play it anyway, and then we'll see what happens. Oh, guys, I didn't even know I was scanning for it and had it up here. That's good because having all these windows open is crazy work. Okay, so oh, okay, good. I have the volume on. Let's start it over, and so I should be good. Let me see if I can I make it a big screen? Hold on, guys. I want to see if I could. I just love seeing the older games and stuff like that, watching them. Who is that, guys? Who is that? You see so many players that we see today. I hope you guys are able to see it really good. So that was cute. And then I'm gonna play Roneeka with when she spoke about coaching the Phantom. Let me see if it'll come up like this. No, I'm gonna do this one. Uh-oh, hold on, guys. Let me take it back. So this video is just Roneeka talking about being a coach for the Phantom.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're having a good week and are getting ready for a great Thanksgiving if you celebrate. We have head coach of the Phantom, Roneeka Hodges, and we will go ahead and get started with questions. So if you want to start us off, Courtney, that'd be great.
Good afternoon, Coach. How you doing today?
Hi, Courtney. I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Nice to meet you. And first question I have to ask you is
Let me see
about
if I can make this big for
the
you
team
guys.
that you drafted and everything. Star-studded roster with players like Satu Sabali, Natasha Cloud, Kelsey Plum, Kia Farian, Leah Boston. How do you balance those individual strengths to form a cohesive winning unit?
You know what? I think that it starts from um, day one. And I think us building that chemistry and building that camaraderie together as a team. And I think that first starts with us getting to know each other as humans. They all probably played against each other a ton overseas and in a W, but maybe there's not a lot of rapport on the court. So I think the first part for me is making sure that I
Imagine being able to
Oh,
build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base
I don't know
44,
why.
a complete
Damn when they do that. Look, YouTube. Don't be hating on me.
put time into building a culture and making sure that the locker room is a safe space and it's an environment that we're going to come and we're going to work hard. We're going to enjoy each other, and there's going to be respect in that locker room. And I think if we start with that, our foundation will be solid in everything we do. After that, on the court, it should be a good indicator of how that locker room is transforming.
All right, I just have one more follow up there. Given your recent WNBA assistant coaching experience, coaching that run at the New York Liberty, what elements from that are you going to bring to your role as the head coach in Unrivaled?
Winning. The goal is to win. I come from a winning background, and I think it's no different here in Unrivaled.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks a lot. Best of luck.
Thank you.
We'll go to Chris.
Thank you. Hi, good afternoon, Coach. Aaliyah Boston plays with great physicality, but she also has drawn attention at times for her use of her elbows in tight spaces. How do you plan to coach her on maintaining that physical edge while staying disciplined and avoiding unnecessary contact?
Hi, Chris. Well, that's part of her game is to be physical. We want to allow her to be exactly who she is while we continue to develop her in the areas that needs improvement. And it's not necessarily only her using her elbows and committing fouls. Obviously, the goal is never to get into foul trouble. But if we can continue to coach and continue to develop her in the areas that she wants to get better at, and also the areas that we needed to get better in as a team, I think we'll be adamant about that. And hopefully, she can stay out of foul trouble and have a great season here at Unrivaled.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Sophie.
Hi, Coach. How are you? Sophie Dumont here with the Ballers Magazine. Great to meet you. I wanted to ask you about Dana Evans. Could you speak to her game and what aspects you think she's going to bring to your team this season, given her growth this past season with the Aces?
Hi, Sophie. I think that Dana would be a great addition to Phantom. First and foremost, I want to highlight that she can score the ball. I think with Unrivaled in the style of play and the space that she's going to be allowed to play in and the space that she's going to have is going to allow her to excel. And the same, like I said, with Aaliyah and everybody else on the team, my goal is to allow them to be who they are. They're on this level for a reason because they're all capable and great players. And I want them to be able to showcase that as well as get better at some of the things that they're aspiring to get better at this offseason and also what we need them to get better at as a team.
And one more from me. In the draft video, I saw that you mentioned that three of the pillars you want to have for your team is competitiveness, camaraderie, and having fun. Can you just elaborate a little bit more about the identity and the culture that you want to build for your team?
I mean, we always want to be competitive. That's the goal. That's the only way that you're going to win and be successful and consistently win is to be competitive and have a competitive spirit. So that's something that's going to be important. I talk about having fun because I want us to play with joy. I think sometimes that could be a component of the game that's missing. Maybe because there's a lot of stress, maybe because there's a lot of pressure. Sometimes we actually forget, that it's hard work, but it's also fun. Basketball should be fun. We should enjoy it. So that's something that I want to make sure that we have. And then when I talk about the culture, I'm mentioning it last, but it's the most important part. And I think that I led with that in the beginning, just talking about building that solid foundation and creating a good environment in that locker room, because I know that that is the most important part. If we could have good camaraderie, have a good locker room energy, I think that it would transfer over to the court.
Thank you, Coach.
Michael?
Hey, Coach. Mike Waterloo here with Winsider. Speaking specifically about Dana and Kelsey, we saw the impact Dana had in WNBA Finals, kind of coming off the bench, and the adjustments that the Mercury had to make just for her speed. And Kelsey, we know how she is in the open court too. Given the 3-on-3 nature with operating in open space, is it kind of going to be an emphasis for you just to kind of push the speed nonstop with those two on the court together, or kind of offsetting each other?
I think it's going to be an emphasis for us as a team, Phantom as a whole, is to push the pace and play an up-tempo style of play. I think that you see some of the more successful teams in Unrivaled or in 3-on-3 play with good pace and also have the understanding of when to actually slow the game down. I think that Kelsey and Dana both have enough experience and a good quality experience to understand when they should push and when they should slow it down and play a little bit more in the half court. I think that Unrivaled would be a great space for both of them to continue to develop their skill and continue to get better and continue to play and obviously win and have fun.
Thanks, good.
Yeah.
Hi, Coach. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for being here. You have that solid foundation of success yourself. It's clear. How do you encourage your players? What process do you encourage your players to have that joy, but at the same time carry that high performance that makes you a success?
Hi, Kia. Well, I think for me, it starts with getting to know each player because you can get to a player in different ways depending on the personality of that player. So for me, the most important part before we actually set foot in Miami is to start having conversations with each player individually just to have a better understanding of who they are and how I could get the most and get the best out of them. So I think that part is important for me. And then that way I can have those answers and know when I can push and when I can't push and how I can help them reach their fullest potential while also getting better at the things that they want to get better at during this off season.
I love that. And I'm glad the goal is to win. You're going to win. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nathan?
Hey, good afternoon, Coach. Welcome. Nice to meeting you. This is Nitya Ramachandra from the NR Media and Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Just talk about the overall roster that you have. You have a great talent of players on this roster this year, and just talk about you bring championship experience. Natasha Cloud obviously brings the championship experience. Kelsey Plum brings championship experience. So just talk about the overall championship experience and that what you guys bring to this unrivaled league this year as a team as a whole.
Hi, Nathan. I think you nailed it when you're talking about championship experience. I think any team that has multiple, even sometimes multiple champions on it, I think that it automatically changes the mindset. It changes the environment because we know that we've experienced success at a high level. So the goal and the standard is always going to be excellence. And I think with the professionals that I have and the championship caliber players that I have, I think that'll be the goal. And we just want to work. A championship is a process. It's never, you go into the season, everybody wants to win a championship, but you have to put in the work and take all the necessary steps in order to be in position to play for the championship. And like I keep mentioning, the most important part for me is going to be building that culture, and setting and building a strong foundation in that locker room, so that way we gel well together, we play well together, and we play with joy. I think that's going to be the most important part, and I'm looking forward to getting started.
Oh man, guys, she remind me of Spoon, and I'm so glad her and Spoon are still good friends. Today, but this was before Unrivaled started this interview, and guys, it's a pattern. It's a track record that Roneeka Hodges has. Her coaching is her being a WNBA player, her being an assistant coach has played a role also in her coming into being a coach for Unrivaled. And if you haven't noticed that every team that she goes to, especially when she's coaching, it has an impact on the game and the players. So not only did she serve her purpose in the WNBA and overseas when she played, she also continued to serve her purpose as an assistant coach and as a coach for Unrivaled. And check it out, guys. It's a pattern of a winning mentality, a teachable person who didn't give up, who didn't stop, who understood the game, who understood how to sit back and let others win. You know what that's like when you know that you got the skills, but it's not your time yet, and somebody else is in front of you, and to be able to sit back and just watch and be teachable from that experience. That's an unselfish person, and an unselfish person. I don't know what Kason doing up in there, but my little one, an unselfish person will continue to make way and have a great path. And for Phantom, guys, we know from last year Phantom to this year Phantom, Roneeka has did her thing. She continues to do her thing. She got a good team, and she's very excellent at coaching. It shows. She's good for bringing teams out of a hump. She's good for that. So it's almost as if how they have head coaches on the team. You also realize assistant coaches could have all those same gifts, but they're still behind someone learning. And that's how they become great coaches as well. They take their skills and what they learned from somebody else to be productive. That says a lot. And the fact that she's still in there and they're giving her a fair chance, unlike some organizations, with our Spoon, yeah, we can see it's coming back, guys. We got to give it time. I see Teaspoon coming back. It's all in God's timing for Spoon. Because she's very Spoon is good too. Roneeka Hodges is definitely gonna continue to do her thing, Unrivaled. And guys, I want to thank you guys for watching. My show today, coming out to show support. Make sure you hit the like button, like, share, and subscribe. You can do donations through Cash App, or you could do a super chat, or you could become a member. However you choose, you want to do things or whatever. I'm just happy the fact that you guys are here, showing support. And yes, I will be dropping the thumbnail for tomorrow's episode today, and for next week, for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll be dropping thumbnails ahead, so you can know which particular player or coach or old teams that I'll be talking about. So guys, ADP ain't going nowhere. Where are they now? Oh, it's going to be off the chain, and it's going to continue to happen episode after episode. I'm going to bring everybody to light. No, you're not going to put our vets. You're not going to put our new generation. You're not going to put any person, any female woman in sport. You're not going to put them inside of a box. I'm here to bring them out, and they're going to continue to do great things, and we're going to continue to see what happened to them. It's very important because the game didn't just start now. The game started a long time ago, and we need to remember that. We need to respect that, and we need to acknowledge it. Okay, guys. Thank you. Love you. Have a great Wednesday. I think Big Girl said LSU have a game today, guys. So is it today or tomorrow? It's got to be today. I believe Big Girl said that LSU has a game today, but I have to check with myself because I want to make sure I'm watching the game or whatever and stuff. But I'll check Keisha's thumbnail and see too. But guys, enjoy your day, and I'll catch you in the chats later on. Peace. Yeah, Big Girl, I forgot. I was thinking about, the twins' birthday Saturday, so I was like, oh my gosh. So thank you, Big Girl. I appreciate it. I love you guys.